So I'll just begin with the acknowledgement of country. So I just want to acknowledge and show respect to the traditional custodians of the land. So for Sydney Uni, that is the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I would also like to extend that to where everyone is logging on today. So for myself, that is the Darawal people. So I'd like to pay my respect to elders both past, present and emerging. Thank you everyone for joining us today for our spoken word open mic event. I'd like to introduce our host, Jamaica. So Jamaica is a Sydney-based artist, rapper, creative director, and songwriter, descending from Maori and Samoan lineage, spiritually entwined with, please correct me if I'm saying these wrong, Hokkien and Waikato. Close. Fueling the inner creativity to shine. Jamaica brings a uniquely flavoured, fresh twist of culture and sound with a fierce, determined image along with her work. So I know I introduced everything before, but if anyone would like to have a go who hasn't already signed up, please just shoot me a message through the chat and we can organise it all for you. I'll just hand over to Jamaica now.
Amazing. Hi, everyone. Happy spring. Am I on the main screen?
Yeah.
That's fine. Hi, everyone. I know it's really crazy doing things online, but that's how we're living at the moment. Before I start, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that I'm streaming from, the Darawal people here in Western Sydney, and welcome to Sydney Uni's spoken word open mic event. I hope everyone's doing well and thriving at the beginning of spring. It's beautiful Virgo season. We love it. First up, I would love to introduce our first speaker. We have Dicot ready to take the online stage. So Dicot, when you're ready.
Yep. So just to introduce myself a little bit. Hi, I'm Dicot. I'm a student studying arts, Bachelor of Arts at the University of Sydney. I am a filmmaker, I'm a writer. And so, yeah, I decided to join this because I do like poetry a lot. So, yeah. So this piece is entitled A Love Poem, written in the year 2021. This is a love poem written in 2021, a significant year, one that's not so fun, fundamentally an extension to 2020. And oh Lord, was 2020 a catastrophe? The year we were forced to confront confusion and anxiety, caught in the confounding cacophony of our complex inner psyches, all while staring deep, deep into the looking glass of our computer screens, deep into the countless pixels brightly coming together to form the faces of you and me. And we stare deep into the faces full of gloom, faces full of impending doom, an endless grid of spaces now available all to use through the power of Zoom. But I'm not here to talk about the end of the world. No, God. I'm here to perform a poem about love written in the year 2021. Yes, how fun. A year beginning with hopes and dreams, looking past the 2020's gloom and chaos. And personally, I look forward to the two of us together relaxing in the park or watching a movie or studying on campus. Then wait, oh, what's that? Oh, wait, it's back, coronavirus. Well, there goes the plan for the park, the cinema, and the campus. Just days and days on end, just staying indoors without leaving the comfort of the snugness of our cozy blankets. Just don't look too close at the screen, and please remember that the death and sadness visibly seen in the heaviness of the black under my eyes can be simply considered superfluous. Just trust me, it's not at all a big fuss. Okay, let's be honest. How can I talk about love in a time like this when every day we are surrounded by doom and despair, when someone somewhere is gasping for air, all while politicians argue current affairs, a state of emergency declared, demanding we take care not to impair the progress we've made, all while throwing blame here and there, while honest to God swearing that they did nothing wrong when they let the news strain in completely ignorant and of the impending destruction, oblivious and unaware. And now, too little, too late, right? Delta is in the air and the world is in flames. So honestly, who cares? Yes, how can I waste time thinking about love in a time like this, when the only thing that's logically on everyone's mind is the seemingly irrevocable fate of futility for everyone everywhere? And I too feel it. The pain and suffering of being alone, being forced to deny my needs as a social creature, being shut away, hidden, ashamed, embarrassed of my loneliness. A loneliness not unlike the feeling of fear and helplessness when men after men kept exclaiming to me messages that my love for you was this immoral sickness. And honestly, how did I cope with that back then? Well, I protested. I accepted my uniqueness, and I knew that it was okay to be different and that things were going to be okay in the end. And I knew that back then, and I still believe it today. And so I say, let me stare into these blinding light beams, at least for the time being, and let me search within the mess of my computer screen, rearranging and retweaking the pixels of red, blue, and green, finally fusing and amalgamating these into the correct intensities of life to form the deep brown of your beautiful eyes. Let the pixels conjure the image of the cafe where you once held my shaking arm so tight. Let the airwaves swiftly carry the data through the internet in the blink of an eye, which will link us together to remind us how the curve of your smile is something that I'll forever keep thinking about. And let the words you once told me vibrate to the speakers of my phone to recreate the message you recorded on a voice memo, which will forever reiterate that I was and will never be alone. Yes, let those memories live on within the ones and zeros of digital life online. And these memories will carry me through this time of all this dread and terror outside past the comfort of my bed, pass through the ill thoughts within my head kept unseen and unsaid. Because I know that once we stay home and finally stop the spread, the day will eventually come when we will finally meet again, my dear, dear friend. So as always, I'll protest against the dread and choose to love instead. And I know that no matter how long it takes, there will always be better days ahead, just past the corner, just around the river bend. And I can't wait to see the brown of your eyes, to see the curve of your smile, to hear the cadence of your voice, to feel the touch of your hand, and for you to receive all of this too, once this whole moment in history is gone. But for now, have these words, which I hope will never fade, the meaning never undone. Have this poem, a love poem, written in the year 2021.
Yes, Dicot. So relatable, seemingly irrevocable fate. Love that. That's definitely, that was beautiful. Thank you. Well, after Dicot, we have the beautiful Hannah ready to present and speak today. Hannah, when you're ready.
Hello, I'm Hannah. I am also a University of Sydney student doing postgrad in English literature. And I'm going to briefly introduce the poem that I'm reading today. It's called The 10th Muse, because I wrote it after reading a beautiful poem of Sappho's, and she was called sometimes the 10th Muse by the ancients because her poetry was beautiful enough that she was the 10th of the 9 muses. So I'm going to read just the first 2 parts and then the 7th part of a long poem called The 10th Muse. Move me, muse, I want music. Moon me motionless, I want to grow full and muse-like. I want to open my full mouth. I want to spring up like a sprout, lucid and clear, want to hear, ear to the ground, the prayer. I want the moon. I want to move like letters licking, want to make mouths at you. I want to crumble like a crust, dissolve like moon dust. Will you move in me? The wind is moving with the moon, like the grass moves. I want you to touch me, tender, sharp, and bitter, like grass touches sky. I taste you, growing me up like shoots. Song sings like salt, the earth's dark taste spent. Touch my tongue with yours. Remember, moon, how fragile singing is. Remember how frigid grass grows. I want your winter wind, want to ask that you move me like the moon. Remember the moon's pale face yellowing with change of place. I want the face of gleaming golden galleons, want music, motionless, and moving. The trouble with wanting, 10th Muse, is wanting more than you mean to, or when they tell you that wanting means wanton, and wanton means wanting to excess. Excess of wind, excess of bellies sailing south, our troubling tenderness, our winsome, wanting, looming desire of loveliness is excess, taut as glass. Remember, 10th Muse, you speak in syllables of flame. These frigid shoots proclaim assuredness. The face of one who speaks your name is distant as gold or gods. The trouble, Muse, with wanting is that wanting grows too tall. Remember, the flame glows fierce behind the forge. The eyes of him were black with wanting, motionless, for more than motion gives. I want, I am inflamed. There is more of me than wanton words will give. The moon is bright tonight. Yes, bright. The sea is lighting up the rocks. The air is sharp. Listen, the mermaid's singing stops. Who sings and who makes harsh the swells and stops? It is the sound of violet hair at night. It is the moon's bright white face. It is the yellowing of the light. And who makes blue the ocean? Who violets the lightning? My love sings in the morning, where hyacinths bloom like lightning. Listen, there is music still. Listen, soon the music stills. There is singing in the souls of silent stones. We are alone. The sea draws out its frothing hair in points, its roar withdrawn. Remember, Titania, who remembered then forgot the boy. Listen, wind glistens, the grass is spun and glassed, rainbow with winter wind. The sound of harsh and untuned rocks combs out the tangles in the hair of tenderness and grass. I can still taste you, grow me up like grass. I want to spring up certain as the sprouts. The world is dark, its curtain drawn like salt, touches the darkness of earth's pink tongue outdrawn. The air is sharp and bitter as the dawn. Wind fails, but stones will sing. I want you to make violets into lightning. I want your tongue to move me motionless. Is wanting an excess? I want music. I want moon green tenderness.
Beautiful. I love. So delightful. Yes, take a beautiful sip of water. That was beautiful. I love that. Thank you for sharing, Hannah. Okay, now I'm going to share just a poem that I wrote. It's just about me and my favorite place. Just I wrote it in imagining without any lockdown that we can travel. So this is about me at my granddad's house in New Zealand. And this is called Calm Sandy Beaches. With sand, I take myself to Hokianga, to the calm sandy beaches of Hokianga, walking from Opunoni to the wharf of Omapere, feeling strength within the roots of myself, clenched and protected around the soles of my feet. As I walk on the beaches of Hokianga, I glance to the natural beauties, the sand dunes taking shape over centuries. Forget the showers, we cleanse within the ocean. I cleanse myself first with the gaze of infinite waters beneath me, physically to be nourished spiritually. As I enter the ocean, I feel home, a hug from my ancestors. As I deepen into the water upon my hair, the ringlets scream with the infusion of salt water, the salty taste of the water gliding upon my tongue, forgiving my sins. As I yearn for warmth, my right hand clutches the stone upon my chest, my pounamu, my greenstone, gifted from my ancestors to never leave my chest. Within the elements, sand, salt, and stone, I found my connection with the sands of Hokianga, the salty waters of Hokianga, and the stone of my pounamu. So that was just something really quick that I would it's something that I just like to mentally take myself out of Sydney at the moment because it's such a hectic place. But thank you. I hope you enjoyed listening to that. But thank you so much to Dicot and Hannah for expressing their poems. That was beautiful. Now we would like to let's open the floor to anybody that would like to share their talents or their stories today. The floor is open. If you just want to raise a hand or put something in the chat and let us know if you would just like to share something. We don't want to go down and say any names, do we? Does anybody feel free to share something? The floor is open.
I can turn the recording off if anyone's feeling uncomfortable about that as well. Please just let us know.
Yeah, so yeah, if we turn off the recordings, does anyone want to share something?
Riley has her hand up.
Yeah, I wrote something very short that I'd be willing to share.
Okay, I'll pop the spotlight on. And would you like me to turn the recording off, or you don't mind?
I don't mind.
Okay, amazing. All right, it's all you.
Okay.
Let's hear it. Thank you, Riley.
Thank you. Physical distance, social proximity, keeping me close with no anonymity. Love is love is love is love, and standing with you is the greatest sublimity.
Oh. So rhythmic. I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Riley. I love. Anybody else? Anybody else raising their hand? I'm trying to see on our chat. Feel free. It's a beautiful day to share some talents. Caroline, did you want to?
Oh, no, that's okay. But maybe we do have a few people here. Maybe if you don't mind, if I were to ask a few questions, especially for people who were interested in getting involved in poetry or that sort of thing, about ways to do it. So yeah, if someone was looking to get started, how would you recommend doing that? Sorry if this is putting you on the spot.
I think, is this a question for me?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if anyone wants to get involved.
Absolutely. I think, like, personally, I would just like to, if you have or yearn to get started in poetry, always just look towards the focus groups that there are, or any connection. Start with one connection, that's somebody that you look up to, and never be afraid to reach out and to see where your thoughts and imagination can be expressed safely. You know, it's always great to be able to share yourself and your voice in, we have another entering, and your voice through safe spaces. So if you want to reach out, feel free to reach out to me if you're wanting to get started. And if you don't have as many connections, then I would love to be able to help point you in that direction. Would anybody else like to add on to how, maybe let us know how you started in poetry, to give people a bit of a, anyone?
What I might do is I'll stop the recording, and then if anyone, we can have a little bit of a chat about how to get into it, or if anyone's interested in asking any questions, make it a little bit of an open forum.
Absolutely, yes.